Yes. So now we'll go to the next chapter. The wives of the Brahmanas blessed. Hmm. Sharing. Hare Krishna. Is my PPT visible to the devotees?
It is, yes, Prabhu. Now it is.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So, while performing the pastimes of stealing Gopi's clothes, Krishna, for some time, he forgot about tending the cows. But then, after some time, as we can see in the slide, he returned to his friends and his he ate many, many fruits. And these are not ordinary fruits, they were the fruits of conjugal rasa. So, Balram and other Gopas, they enthusiastically welcomed Krishna when Krishna rejoined them. After that, they went to tend the cows. And then Krishna began to glorify Balram and other Gopas. So he was glorifying them one by one. Like it is said that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would glorify devotees, it seemed as if he had 10 mouths. So like that Krishna was glorifying his friends also. So he said, "Hey cultured friends, oh Sto Krishna, I'm so happy to see you. Oh Amsuman, even while fighting, your body looks beautiful and effulgent. Oh Sridhama, you are adorned with the opulent garland of all good fortune. Hey Subala, your strength is the wealth of your intense love. Oh Arjuna, your white color is due to the pure fame of your deep love. O Visala, the greatness of your love is always joyfully displayed. O Ojasvi, you are elegant due to your brilliant strength. O Devaprastha, your form is the crest jewel on the mountain peak of fraternal affection. That means Sakharas. O Varutapa, because you have controlled the chariot of your mind, your commands are always obeyed. And then he continues, look, my dear friends, just see the splendorous beauty of the forest grove. The trees here are looking so attractive with their coral reddish buds, which are enveloped by tender reddish green leaves. So they are looking like embracing lovers. And as far as densely foliated branches are concerned, they're practically covering the sky in all the directions. So although there are so many varieties of birds sitting on these small, small branches, but they are not bound up there. They're free, but they are looking as if they are bound. So they are independent and beyond the control of Cupid. What to speak of radiant beauty of Vrindavan trees, which are wish fulfilling trees? They are beyond one's mind and words. Even if one takes birth in effulgent and versatile land of Vrindavan, as small insignificant plant, still he should be accepted as great saint. So Krishna loved even these trees so much that every day he would go to the forest so that these trees will not feel pangs of separation from Krishna. Hmm. And then he says that hunters attain supreme happiness by using bows and arrows by spoiling enjoyment of other enemies. Whereas, compared to that, saints find delight within their purified minds and soft hearts. As far as karmis are concerned, they reap the fruits of their piety so that they can enjoy in the heaven. So they do pious activities and enjoy in the heaven. Kshatriyas, they take pleasure in killing tigers. They take their skins, use them, decorate in their houses, and so, oh, I've killed this tiger. But as far as these trees are concerned, just by their barks, leaves, and fruits of these trees, one can derive all happiness. So that means they're source of all happiness to everyone. So taking birth as a tree in Vrindavan, therefore, is itself a perfection which fulfills the need of the soul. So even if somebody becomes a tree in Vrindavan, that's considered perfection of life. And then he says, so in this way he was uh, using enchanting words to fulfill the desires of his friends. And then, as usual, he was roaming around the cows. And now you can see the next slide. Yes. So because it was summer season and cows had eaten a lot of grass, so they felt very thirsty and they were now walking very slowly. So Krishna brought them to the banks of Yamuna, and there all these cows were drinking some water. The trees on the other side, they had joined in such a way that they were providing soothing shade. So along with Balram and other gopas and the cows, Krishna very happily reached the banks of Yamuna. And if Krishna would have not come with his gopas, nobody would have understood the sweet mode of love. So cows, they were drinking this clear crystal water from Yamuna. And at that time, Krishna was resting on the root of a tree, which was just beside the path. And within his mind, while resting under the tree, Krishna made a plan. The plan to test the love of the chaste wives of Yogic Brahmanas. And now you can see in the next slide. Yes. So it was summer season, so playing and roaming through the forest all day, both the cows and boys were feeling very tired and hungry. There are drops of perspiration on their weary faces, which were looking like dewdrops on a wilted lotus flower. And due to hunger, they were looking very weak and lusterless. So in this distress condition, cow herd boys, gopas, they fearlessly appealed to Krishna and Balram. While Krishna and Balram were relishing the sweet smell of musk that was pervading in the air. So the gopas said, O Supreme Personalities, O Balram, you are very strong, handsome, and radiant. And O Krishna, your color resembles a fresh monsoon cloud. And also, you have powerful arms. But as far as we are concerned, we are so much harassed by hunger. So please do something about it. So we feel like this venom of snake is burning us. This hunger is looking like venom of the snake. Our raging appetites have turned our bellies into pots of burning fire. They're burning us like anything. We can't find any relief. So, oh beloved friends, you two brothers should think some way of removing our agony due to hunger. And this softened the heart of Krishna with love. So very mildly he was smiling, and he was revealing his beautiful teeth, which were looking like kunda flowers. And then Krishna advised to his friends that you can see in the next slide. Oh, okay. Here itself the advice is there. Okay. So he was advising his friend. He said, "O Sakhas, listen, I will help you by telling you how to get relief from your misery. Not very far from here, there are some very powerful and blissful brahmanas who are respected by best of the sages. Now here you can see the brahmanas. Hmm. They are performing Angiresa sacrifice so that they can go to heaven. They have attained brilliant fame because of their broad minds and liberal distribution of food. Beside this, besides being expert in Vedic rituals, these Grasta Brahmanas can easily dispel anyone's ignorance by their vast knowledge. So they are full of knowledge. So now you should quickly go there, offer them obeisances, address them respectfully, and beg some footsteps in our names. Actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it is in the Bhagavatam verse also. Krishna says first you should take the name of Balram. Because Balram is a Kshatriya, everybody knows he's son of Vasudev. And Krishna identifies himself as a Vaisya. So he says maybe in the name of Balram they will give. Because he's from like a higher caste. So, and then being ordered by Krishna, the pious, soft-hearted Gopas expertfully and joyfully made their way to Yagasala. So even though they were very tired, but they eagerly went to beg from the Brahmanas. And now just see they enter in the Yagasala. So this cow herd boys come there in Yagasala. So upon entering in Yagasala, they enjoyed seeing the sacrificial fire, the dense smoke of the yagya. They were relishing the smell of burning ghee, which was gratifying their noses. And the warm air from this Yagasala was giving them a sense of touch. They were hearing the melodious singing of Samveda. Purusam namami narayanaya. So, so they anticipated that very soon they will get some tasty foodstuffs, which can be offered to Krishna. And that is why their tongues are salivating in great anticipation. So first they were looking at the decorated Yagasala, which was gratifying their senses. So as Lord Ramchandra is the Lord of Raghu dynasty, so sometimes he's called Treta Yuga Avataram. Similarly, this Yagasala is also called Treta Yuga Avataram because it has three types of fires. Ahvanya, Dakshinagni and Gharrapatya. Similarly, the city of Ayodhya is called V Saryu Param because it's next to Saryu, beside Saryu river. Similarly, this sacrificial fire is also called Visaryupuram. So it's called Visaryupuram. Visar means spreading, Ayu means life, and Param means highest. Because it is giving life, and this Agni is spreading to the highest level because of supply of wood. So that's why it's also called Visaryupuram. Like King Bhagirath is called Sammunit Pragvamsam, who deliver of the ancestors. Similarly, Yagasala is also called Sammunit Pragvamsam, which another meaning is it is located on the eastern side of the house. Generally, the Yagasalas were made at the northeastern corner, which is called Isan Kod. So even if you go to Badrinath, that Isan Kod, they have another temple made by Pandavas. So that's called Sumit Pragvamsam. In its presence was beautifying the homes of the Brahmanas' patrons. So these Gopas, okay, a Brahmana boy who had not completed his brahmachari life is called Same Khala Kundalasam, or he wears a handsome waist belt made up of ropes. And these ropes are made from munja grass, which is draped over a shoulder. That's why they are called Samekhala Kundalsam. Similarly, Yagasala is called Samekhala Kundalsam because its embellishment with different raised seats placed around the fire pits. Like there are raised seats around the fire pits where Brahmanas can sit. That's why it's called Samekhala Kundalasam. As the heart of one releasing rasa becomes Sampurnam Pravishta. Sampurnam is completely filled with rasa because he's completely filled with the bhakti rasa. Similarly, Yagasala is also called Pravishta Rasa Sampurmam because it is filled with kusagras. Filled with kusagras. So Sampurmam is filled with. And Pravishta rasa means abundance of kusagras. As house is full of cooking pots, Prajya Thalikam. So Thalikam, that means Thali, lot of cooking pots are there. Similarly, Yagasala is also full of pots. Prajya Thalikam, it has also Thalikam, it has pots which are filled with pure ghee. As separate lovers' eyes always glisten with tears, similarly, this Yagasala always shines with flames, flames of fire. During rainy season, rivulets swell with water. Visal Pumapatram. And in the between of the rivers, it is very, very deep. Similarly, the middle of Yagasala, there is Visal Purnapatram. Purnapatram means deep pots, and Visal means very deep pots. So there are deep pots filled with foodstuffs. Like clubs are called Musulam or Ulukhala, which are used to chastise the evil kings or chastise the recently people in evil assembly of evil kings. Similarly, Yagasala also has Musalam, that's called mortar, and Ulakhala, that's called Ukhal. Ukhal means pestle. It is used for grinding spices and ingredients, which are used for in the sacrifice. So, like Kshatriyas are expert in using their hands for fighting, Samit Kusalam. Similarly, Yagasala also has kusa grass and wood called Samit Kusalam. As Mahisa, Lord Shiva, is called Soham because he always associates with Uma. Hmm. Similarly, the Yagasala is called Soham because it is filled with so many oblations. Home. So, Sa home. So it's not Sahom. Sahom, yes, Sahom. Yes. So we had do a lot of homes. Inside Yagasala, the Gopas saw many Yagya Brahmanas chanting the hymns of Samaveda. Similarly, of the four ways to control somebody is also called Sama. So there is Samadam Dandabhit. Similarly, they also saw Samavedas. They heard the sound of Samavedas there. As one enjoys his lover to his chest, similarly, hearing the precise enunciations of hymns pleased everyone's heart. Everybody was pleased by hearing these hymns, Vedic hymns. Like sages have beautiful locks of matted hairs called Sujatakam. Similarly, there were many, many sweet tunes in which they were singing Vedic hymns. So that is called Sujatakam. Like young girls appear very firm and beautiful, they are called Susamhitam. Similarly, these Brahmanas were singing tightly composed display of beautiful poetry. So this is called Susamhitam. So Samhita, but Su means very nicely composed. Samay Samayinjala. So what kind of yogic Brahmanas were they? As a worshipper is well versed in acting according to proper time. So Samay Samay Yagya. So they knew exact time, Samay, when to perform sacrifice. So similarly, these Brahmanas performed yaggas exactly at auspicious time, Samay Samagitam, both in the morning and evening time. Like Kshatriyas attain wealth of victory in battle by repeatedly using their bows. So they defeat the opposite party and then they take their booty for enjoying. Similarly, Brahmanas have become wealthy by constantly doing yagyas. So they become very wealthy. So after examining the Yagasala, the Gopas walked slowly forward. So although they were smelling the sweet aroma of sacrificial fire, so their lungs were filled with the nice smoke, but stomachs were empty. Stomachs were empty and dissatisfied. So with their bangles and ankle bells jingling very sweetly, these Gopas bowed in front of the Brahmanas, expecting that we'll get some food. So even the king of heaven esteemed these austerities of renowned Brahmanas. They were doing such proper yagyas, who always receive seat of honor in any festival. So they were so popular. Anywhere they would go, they will get a seat of honor. So as personification of Vedic knowledge, they were looking very grave, and although they had deep personal feelings, then in a rumbling voice, Gopas addressed the Brahmanas. That you can see in the next slide. They started addressing. So they said, "O worshipful and cultured ones, please listen to us." Ah. So actually, according to the verse, first they take the name of Krishna, although Krishna told them to take the name of Balram. So out of affection for Krishna, they forgot what Krishna spoke. So anyway, but here in the translator is given, we are friends of Balram and Damodar coming here as your guests. Balram, the embodiment of all wonderful transcendental qualities, is just nearby talking with his younger brother Krishna. And both Krishna and Balram sent us to you because they are well-wisher of everyone. Now you may ask, why Krishna himself has not come? Why he has sent all of us? And the answer is that Krishna is fixed in his position as Sumeru. So that's why he sent both all of us. As oceans of compassion, you Brahmanas, your lives are meant for benefit of all living entities. And you always perform pious activities like digging wells, establishing parks and gardens, making attractive walkways, and being dear to everyone. You satisfy all living entities by giving what they cherish the most. And what is that? Food. You give them food. You have become effulgent due to your fame. And as usual, you are charitable and you are also fixed in Brahman. So, since we had left our home very early in the morning, we didn't take any food or we didn't take any rest. So, we are very tired and hungry from roaming all over along with our cows. So, Krishna and Balram are also feeling very distressed. So, although they tolerate hunger for a short time, but now they are also very anxious to eat something. And therefore, my dear Brahmanas, they sent us to you to beg for some food because you are maintainer of Grasta Dharma. And it is the duty of a Grasta to provide for the needy. So please make some arrangements to affectionately provide us with plenty of food. So they made a request like that. So although these Brahmanas were hearing the Gopas, but they remained silent as if they are deaf. They didn't even pay heed. They didn't even pay heed. Ah. And then you can see in the next slide. Ah. So understanding that Brahmanas felt no obligation to give them any charity, all these Gopas became very morose. They had small faces. So then they were thinking, These Brahmanas were treating them like hard-hearted, invalid old men. Like sometimes very people who speak very sharp and they're old. So old means they're not useful for anything, but they always cause trouble to others by speaking harshly. Generally, many times people neglect them. So similarly, these Brahmanas were neglecting them. So although these Brahmanas were wise and learned yagyas, uh, now question comes is why did the Brahmanas ignore these humble requests of the Gopas? What was the cause? So they were learned, expert in Vedic hymns, chanting Vedic hymns. They knew the etiquette of the Grasta ashram also, that they are supposed to give them charity to the needy. On top of that, they were doing sacrifice also. So what was the cause that they behaved with Gopas like that? So then Kavi Kanpur himself answers, yes, maybe, perhaps it was not their habit to entertain the request of young children. So children ask something, they don't pay heed. Maybe because of that. Or maybe they disregarded the Gopas because their attachment to sacrificing animals. So when fire axe sacrifices are performed, so although Prabhupada says that no, there is benefit to the person who is performing yagya, and in that if he sacrifices animals, animals get a higher body, and the performer of yagya also gets piety. But still, because there is a animal killing involved in that, the tendency that person becomes oblivious to the pain of others. So maybe because of that, they disregarded the gopas who are feeling so much pain due to hunger. Or it may be because of their enmity, or it may be because of their foolishness, they're too foolish, or they didn't have they didn't have sufficient spiritual piety. Because of that, they were not attracted to Krishna Balram or the Gopas. So they had no attraction for any spiritual things. Or the cause can be they didn't receive any mercy from the Lord. Because to do any seva, one needs mercy. So if we are getting an opportunity to serve Krishna by our senses, that's greatest mercy of Krishna. But these Brahmanas had no spiritual piety. Anyway, whatever may be the reason, but all these Gopas, their faces turned very pale from disappointment and lamenting because of their failure, they unhappily returned to Krishna. Now you can see the next slide. Yeah. So upon noticing their condition, Krishna remained equipoised and displayed a mild smile on his lotus face. But as far as Gopas are concerned, they were so frustrated in their attempt. So at that time, Krishna was thinking that those yogic Brahmanas are not actually charitable towards others. They simply make a big show with their elaborate fire sacrifices. And it seemed as if their charity does not extend beyond the limits of their own bellies. So they're charitable only for themselves, not for others. So person who's elevated in consciousness generally looks after the welfare of others. But these Brahmanas were not. So although mentally disturbed, these Gopas tried to explain the situation to Balram. So they said, "Oh Ram, we've never seen such harshness as we saw today in the eyes of those Brahmanas. They are yogic Brahmanas in name only. Actually, they're first class fools because they don't know the real purport of the Vedas. Vedesa sarvera ahamai vedyo. Vedanta ved vedevcha. So they don't know the real purport is to serve Krishna. So mentioning your names, as you said, we begged foodstuffs. It's so pleasing to the soul. But what to speak of giving charity, they didn't even answer us. Which is the minimum response enjoyed in the Vedas. Ideally, they could have said, Okay, wait for some time. No, we don't give it now because we are doing busy with our Vedic sacrifice. Or today we can't give it. You can come some other day. They could have said anything, but they didn't respond only. So they were not responding. But when we went in their homes, we saw, heard them saying so many things. Cook this, fry this, let us drink, eat, come, go outside, take this away. That means they were feasting. They were feasting, but they had no desire to give charity. We saw these Brahmanas, the crest jewel among Gyanis, busily engaged inside their houses, eating palatable foods. So they themselves were eating very nicely palatable foods, but no disposition of charity. Outside their houses, many thousands of people milled about. Being angry, we didn't bother to go there. We didn't want the charity because they were not paying any heed to us. So, seeing the quality of generosity being so dishonored in the hands of Brahmanas, we did not want to stay there for a moment, expecting after some time some food will come. No. So, by going to them, we received nothing more than utter humiliation, whereas they enhanced their family prestige by performing huge yagyas. So, they're performing huge yagyas, people were appreciating them, and because of yagyas, they were getting a lot of wealth, they were very wealthy, they were enjoying life, but they had no regard for others' pains. So, Krishna, our dear friend, only thing we brought is some smoke from Yagasala, which is there in our lungs. So, like the Vedic injunctions, all of your instructions are held as crest jewels on our head. Just as nectar never turns salty, your instructions are not supposed to fail because your words are infallible. But why? Why was there such an embarrassment? We followed your orders, but nothing happened. So even Gopals were frustrated. So sometimes devotees become very depressed if they try a lot for preaching program or something like that. They didn't get any results. So there is some frustration. But it's not surprising because even Gopals were frustrated. They were also feeling frustrated. So Krishna smiled very mildly and he spoke sweet, pleasing words mixed with cleverness. And then Krishna tried to pacify them. So Krishna said, "Oh Gopas, why are you so affected by false anger? It's just false anger. Uh, so you should not have such a defiant, antagonistic mood like a newly married woman. So sometimes she has a lot of apprehensions about this thing, that thing. You're not supposed to have like that. So it is natural that your minds are disturbed because selfish people like those brahmanas always cause suffering to others. So it is their nature to cause suffering to others. So it's natural that your minds are disturbed. But it's habit of common people to find fault in others. So don't become like a common person, finding fault in others. Just pacify your mind by thinking that being preoccupied with yajna, maybe the brahmanas obviously could not attend to you. So that's a way of pacifying the mind. At least have a doubt, maybe other person was right. And that is a way of pacifying oneself when one is agitated. So Krishna was teaching them way of pacifying mind. Mm. And then Krishna said, listen carefully, you should follow my perfect advice, and in this way you should achieve the desired result. Mm. Whereas in other side, the wives of Brahmanas are also present in Yagasala. So as far as these wives of Brahmanas are concerned, they are embodiments of kindness, compassion, and purity. And they have particular wealth which even Brahmanas don't have. Although Brahmanas are rich, but they don't have that wealth which these ladies are having. And what is that wealth? That's the wealth of having completely surrendered their minds to Krishna. So, Krishna, they have that wealth that they have surrendered their minds to me. That means they have spiritual piety. And Krishna said, although they are women, they don't take any pride in turning away beggars from their doors. Not that, oh, turn them away. No. These women don't see anything unfavorable for my service. Rather, they immediately feel ecstatic upon hearing my name and viewing my transcendental form. So they will happily give you plenty of food to remove your hunger. So they will definitely reciprocate. Besides being adorned in golden ornaments, these wives of Brahmanas regularly receive and willingly distribute golden charity. So they already are charitable. So although they are Brahmanas' wives, instead of sitting on the ground like ordinary women, they sit on the golden thrones like queens. So they're wealthy also. So they sit like queens with their bodies radiating as splendid luster. So feeling gladness within your hearts, go to the private quarters. And then for them, Krishna said, directly in my name, whether Krishna's devotees. So Brahmanas, because they were very caste conscious, Krishna told them that you should take name of Balram. They said, oh, at least Kshatriya, no, we should give them some charity. Vaisyas, no, they don't, they're too low. But for these wives of the Brahmanas, this Krishna said that you should take my name. And then you ask for abundant foodstuffs, which will bring you all satisfaction. So these wives of Brahmana, they are like desire trees who will definitely gratify your cherished desires. And he said, oh my dear friends, Gopas, taking my words as Vedic injunction, which is very dear to you, you should go through them and again beg for food. So when they saw Krishna's powerful presentation, all the Gopas left the garden, which was filled with fresh creepers, and riding in the waves of pleasure, they quickly returned to Yagisala, but not to the Brahmana this time, to the wives of the Brahmanas. Yes. Now you can see the next slide. Yeah. So now they went to the wives of Brahmanas. So in a submissive mood, they approached the private chambers of the wives of the hard-hearted Brahmanas. And just as lightning spreads throughout the sky and earth, similarly these boys saw the wives of Brahmanas were fully ornamented with the effulgent wealth of prestige. So their ornaments were looking like lightning. So as lightning and rain in Shravan month becomes separate from the clouds, similarly Brahmana's wives, they had given up sense enjoyment due to separation from Krishna. So the lightning flashes out of a cloud in a harsh way, but Brahmana's wives were soft-hearted. Although lightning flashes only for some moment, uh, and is then detached from the body of the cloud, so that's for momentary thing. But as far as bodies of Brahmana's wives are concerned, they emit attractive radiance for very long time, not for short while like lightning. As lotuses grow in the water on their stems, similarly, wives of the Brahmanas also speak in a straightforward manner, not in a crooked way. So that means they were simple and straightforward women. So these wives of Brahmanas, They resembled golden creepers of flowing beauty. Huh? Which were moving here and there. But from separation from Krishna, they could not find any pleasure. Even without the night, they exhibited effulgences rivaling the growing full moon. So, like moon is exhibits radiance only in the night time, they were effulgent even in the daytime. So, in the absence of Krishna, they are feeling very unhappy. So, these Yajna who are wives of the Brahmanas, existed like personified flames of fire. Their saintly qualities derived the fame of even Arundhati, who is a wife of Vasishta. Vasishta is the guru of Lord Ram. Not just Lord Ram, it's Raghukul. So somehow they maintained a joyful state by strengthening strength of their affection for Krishna, which acted like celestial herbal medicine to sustain them, and burned like steady flame of an oil lamp. Now, question comes: how did they gain such an affection for Krishna? So, how did they gain affection? They gained affection because they would regularly hear from the fruit vendors, vegetable vendors, other gopis who would come to sell butter, milk, yogurt. So when they would come to the houses of these brahmanas, then these brahmanas' wives would talk to them. And at that time, these ladies from Vrindavan, they would glorify Krishna, various pastimes of Krishna. And hearing these glories of Krishna, they developed such an attraction for Krishna that they became great devotees of Krishna. Hmm. We find this similarity in so many devotees, like Rukmini also. When Rukmini heard from Narad Muni about beauty of Krishna, he simply had strong desire to have only Krishna as the husband. Sritva bhavana sundar sanvatam te nirvishta karne vivare hartonga tapam rupam drisam drishimatam akhilartha labam toi achyata vishati chitram apatrapam me. So once he heard that Krishna is rupam drisam drishimatam, he's the best thing to be seen in the entire creation. Akhilartha labam. So there is nothing more desirable than Krishna. So then she thought, I'll have only Krishna as my husband. So similarly, these wives of Brahmanas, they also desired only Krishna. So during any ceremony, these beautiful Brahman ladies behaved perfectly according to time, place, and circumstances. They displays the limit of worldly conduct by welcoming the guests with sweet words, served them first class food, and due to their Krishna prem, they knew exactly how to behave in a particular circumstance. Jai Krishna Vade Se Vada Chatur. So they were expert. So as vines of parental affection, they could not ignore the pleas of these hungry gopas. So although it is spoken here that they're vines of parental affection for the gopas, but actually they were in Madhurya Ras for Krishna. So sometimes our devotees think they are from Vatsal Ras. So they were not in Vatsal Ras, they were in Madhur Ras. So although they were tolerating the sound of their husbands, but they were like earth personified in terms of forgiving. Each one of these ladies exhibited many attractive qualities such as purity of purpose, absolute dedication to the Lord, etc. And their wealth, which is wealth? Wealth of Krishna Prem. It surpassed even that of Indra, who protects others with thunderbolt. So when these Gopas, they saw the Yagapatnis, they immediately spoke. They said, O magnanimous wives of great Vamanas, we offer obeisances to your pinkest lotus feet, which are source of generosity and happiness. We are close friends of Krishna, who is the personification of all knowledge. So please listen to our humble appeal. And Brahmana's wives, once they heard the name of Krishna, this name of Krishna was resounding in their ears again and again. Krishna, 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 Krishna. So it was like a dream coming true. So they are startled and astounded, and they forgot everything and exclaimed, what kind of enchanting mantra is this? The name of Krishna. Avinittam Nama Namino. Krishna not different from his name. So when one has love for Krishna, one will have love for Krishna's name also. So they become mesmerized. So just as a sea deer becomes helplessly attracted to sweet flute melodies of hunter, similarly, all these Yagapatnis swooned in ecstasy upon hearing Krishna's name. So in this way, these pure-hearted wives of Brahmanas, so who appeared on the earth like a predominating deity of Upanishads, immediately they stopped cooking and they looked very respectfully at the cowherd boys while fixing their minds in meditation. So, inspired by Krishna's reassuring words, all these Gopas smiled pleasantly and now they complete their request to the ladies. So, they said, so now they continue their request to the wives of Brahmanas. So, they say, O wives of the Brahmanas, we are very hungry. We did not take any breakfast and have been playing all day. And Raj Kumar, who is the reigning Cupid of this world, Krishna, and the object of your worship also, sent us to you for food. He told that you should go and beg food. So Krishna is waiting nearby along with his elder brother Balram, who always showers Krishna with joy and shines with power of King Indra. Who? Balram. So our dear friend Krishna is known throughout the world. Surely you must have heard about him from the lips of great devotees. So that is how they develop devotion. So who are these great devotees? They're vendors, fruit vendors, vegetable vendors, milk sellers from Vrindavan. So you must have heard from them that even as a baby, he made the cruel witch Putana famous by giving her the post of his nurse. A small boy, he pushed the terrible Tranavarta demon into the earth. He turned Bakasur into an ugly corpse. He vanquished Aghasur, that venomous serpent. He banished Kalia from Yamuna, sent him to Ramanaka Islands. What more can we say about his fantastic exploits? The glories of all demons and devotees in the entire material manifestation can't be compared with the drop in the ocean of Krishna's unlimited nectarial glories. So in this way, they address the wives of Brahmanas. So upon hearing these words, the hearts of the ladies immediately melted in ecstatic love. They felt that the great treasure of Krishna's form, which is a constant flow of beautiful nectar, appearing as inconceivable eternal existence, has suddenly manifest before them. So they could see Krishna's form just by remembering Krishna. So the thought of directly meeting Krishna stole the chariots of their minds. They were waiting for this day to meet Krishna, and now finally that day has come. Uh, so somehow or the other, the eternal perfection that they desired for so long was now appearing before them. Yes, Aditi Gaurpro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you said that the elderly gopis are not in Vatsalya Ras, but in Madhurya Ras.
No, not elderly, these elderly wives of Brahmanas. They're not elderly wives.
Elderly.
They're not elderly actually. They're wives of Brahmana. They are young only. Our devotees think that they are like elderly gopis who are in Vatsala Ras. They are not like that.
But Krishna is still small, and the wives are in age, they are more.
No, no, no. These are young wives of Brahmanas.
Like the gopis, normal
Like gopis
gopis.
only. Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
So I don't know whether they are looking like that, but they are like they are young. So they are in Madhur Ras. So like you gopis also, na? Radharani is married, Chandravali is married. Similarly, these ladies are also married. So they're in Madhur Ras, not in Vatsala Ras.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Hari. So drowning in an ocean of bliss, their eyes filled with tears. The tender creeper-like bodies erupted in blissful bumps. Their senses became numb and stopped working. And these transformations infused them with new life. Like we hear about experience of Rupa Goswami, which Haridas Thakur appreciated like anything. This verse which Haridas Thakur said that this is the best glorification of Krishna's name. Tunde Tandavani Vitunate Tundavali Labdaye Karna Krodha Kadambani Gatayate Karnere Buddhe Vyaspraham Cheta Prangan Sangani Vijayate Sarve Indriyanam Kritim No Jane Janete Kiyad Viramrite Krishneti Varnam Dvai. I don't know what nectar is there in these two syllable Krishna. Tunde Tandavani Vitunate Tundavali Labde. When it does tandav, it dances on my tongue. Hmm. I desire Tundavali Labde. Let me have millions of tongues. Karna Krodha Kadambani Gatayate Karnera Buddhebhyas Praham. When these two names Krishna enter in the ear holes of my ears, I desire millions of ears. And when it enters in my heart, Cheta Prangan Sangani Vijayate. It conquers the courtyard of my heart. Sarv Indriya Nam Kritem. And all my senses become numb. No jane janite kiyat bhir amritir. I don't know what nectar is there. In what? Krishneti varnam dvai. In these two letters, Krishna. So similarly, when they thought we are going to meet Krishna, they heard the name of Krishna, they also had a similar transformation. So this newly acquired good fortune enhanced their beauty. Their bodies displayed a splendid elegance, and the intensity of their desire to meet their beloved increased more and more. So they were in great anticipation. So nourished by such a hankering, the eyes of Yagpatnis filled with the form of Krishna. So they, in their anticipation, they were seeing Krishna. Actually, even Prabhupada says that when we are chanting, we should chant with a longing for Krishna. A day will come when the same name will reveal the form, will reveal the qualities of Krishna, will reveal the pastimes of Krishna. So with that longing one should chant. So seeing their increasingly ascetic condition, the cowherd boys felt very perplexed. They were thinking, what has happened to them? So while looking at each other in astonishment, they said, what is happening? Upon hearing our appeal, these respectable ladies went mad They become mad with a desire to see Krishna. Their actions are looking so strange. They're not speaking, moving, or looking at anything. It is looking as if some evil planets have mesmerized them. So I don't know whether you have seen. I have seen some people when they're haunted, they're haunted by ghosts. So they become like statues. They don't move. Same thing was happening to them. They were haunted by the evil planet of Krishna. Krishna Graha Grit Atma. It's told about Prahlad Maharaj. Similarly, they were looking like that. So it is not surprising that the Brahmanas treated us rudely, Gopas were saying, and totally ignored us. They did not even acknowledge our arrival or give us anything. But we are so amazed that their lotus eyed wives failed to give us anything. Even after attentively hearing our request and showing us so much loving affection and intention to serve. Uh, So we are amazed to see that Brahmanas were so rude and these wives are like so charitable. So how can that happen? That shows that actually bhakti is very individual. It doesn't depend on the caste, position, creed, or anything. So that depends, varies from person to person. Same family there can be Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj. Same family there can be uh, Ravan and Vibhishan. Same family. Similarly, in the same family we have Yagapatnis also and Yagi Brahmanas also. So the Gopas continued, who can understand the mentality of these Yagapatnis? How did their behavior change so radically? Something created a sweet mellow within their minds and made them ecstatic. So that transformation could neither remove the cause nor remove the effect. So the cause causes their love, and the effect is that they're so stunned. So while humble Gopas were talking like that, so although the wives of Brahmanas were failing to respond verbally, they went directly into their kitchens. Through their maidservant, they told them, stock everything. And then on a large plate, they expertly piled up rice and vegetables and delicious foodstuffs, which was showing that desire to please Krishna. So you can see the next slide. All these things got piled up. Hmm. So on large plate, they expertly piled up. Yeah. So then there were creamy cakes, sweet breads, chapatis, yogurt, complete area of delicacies like which can be licked, chewed, drink, and suck. Bhajya bhoja lehe chos. They prepared foods of all six tastes, which are spoken according to the Ayurveda. If you take all sort of six tastes, then one can be fully satisfied. So just as caves, Kandar, and gentle winds blow on Govardhan to serve Krishna, similarly they collected all kind of root vegetables, Kanda Mule, to please Krishna. Before offering them, they artistically arranged fragrant, juicy, delicious, and colorful preparations. Like, yeah, for preparation of Raghav Pandits, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says that his preparations were very fragrant to smell, very beautiful for the eyes to see, and extremely irresistible to eat. So they also arranged the foodstuffs very nicely. So just as woman beautifies herself very beautifully by wearing golden ornament, similarly, all these types of vegetables like sak, sukta, etc., were there in the offering. As the minds of Yagpatnis were enriched with spontaneous bliss, seemingly the opulence of offering was increased by adding first class dals and soups and all these things. As divine weapon released in the battle is invincible, like Sudarshan, invincible. Similarly, different varieties of spinach had undefeatable taste and qualities. It depends on cooking. Like uh, when we were in Calcutta, many devotees were not Bengali, so they didn't like many Bengali items. But whenever these devotees from Namhatta, they would come to Rathata and they would cook. It was like first class. Everybody loved it because they know how to cook. They know how to cook the items. Any authentic item. Even I went in South India, this Kerala. One of the devotees were there. They were cooking that uh, traditional items. So generally traditional items are very tasty. Nowadays people have forgotten the Vedic way of cooking. Uri also. I saw one. I took Uri items also. Traditional items. Puri. My God. Anand Bazar is like filled with bliss. It's Anand Bazar. Yeah. Okay, coming back. So these ladies scented the offerings with pure desire to prepare everything with love and devotion. Just as Ganga looks beautiful passing through Kasi, similarly, all these wonderful varieties of food looked very attractive. So, according to their heart desires, Yagpatnis put these foodstuffs in golden pots with crystal lids. All these pots glittered attractively from different objects reflected on their crystal lids. From crystal lids, they were visible. The pots glittered attractively from the different objects reflected on their crystal lids. Yeah. And the ladies covered the pots with fine white cloths, ignoring the many people milling over the sacrifice. They held the pots on their upraised palms like that. So they held it over their hand and they walked out. So all these best of the ladies were looking like desire fulfilling trees, kalpatru, who are ready to fulfill all the desire of the needy. And now you can see the next slide. Yeah. So these are different gopas. So while walking along the way, all these gopas communicated with each other through their eye movements. Oh, such a nice food. Occasionally, they turned their lotus faces towards Krishna's friends. Okay. These ladies were talking to themselves and they were looking at the gopas. And all these submissive gopas ran ahead, showing the way to Krishna. So, feeling ecstatic, the cowherd boys spoke in soft, joyful voices, indicate the proper direction. Go toward the right, go toward the left. And these ladies, they looked like beautiful lotus flowers wandering over the earth. So, by carrying uh, pots of food in their lotus palms, they became as fortunate as the gopis who always associate with Krishna because they got an opportunity to serve Krishna. So, refulgent as golden lotuses, all these Yagpadnis, they held the pots and they were walking with the grandeur of band of sea elephants. So, with the weight of excessive Krishna Prem, they appeared like a heavy jeweled necklace in their hearts. Anxiety was filling their minds. Due to heavy weight of their pots, full breasts and hips, all these ladies proceeded slowly and steadily toward the Lord of their heart, Krishna. So though walking was painful, because they were surrendered souls, they felt no inconvenience while going to Krishna. The Prabhupada says that even if the child is very heavy, mother carries her with lot of love. Thus, she becomes very happy when child is heavy. Oh, my child is eating very nicely. This is called burden of love. So, due to conflicting moods or transcendental ecstasy, they sometimes ran towards their beloved or stumbled and progressed very slowly. And while they were moving, the soft jingling of their waist belts were making sound. Sound of their ankle bells vibrated slowly as they moved. It made a sound. After going a short distance, they saw the plants and creepers of Vraja bending down in a humble, blissful way. Immediately they could understand. They could understand Krishna is somewhere nearby. So they could understand that all these plants and creepers of Vrindavan, they're not ordinary. So they're humbly bowing down to Krishna. So this time they became mad because of their intense love for Krishna. And now you can see the next slide. Yeah. So now they have arrived. So as soon as they saw an effulgence more beautiful than the dense rain cloud, a mound of kajal and a bucket of blue lotus flowers combined. So Krishna was looking like a dense rain cloud, a mound of kajal, and blue lotus flower combined. And they were able to touch actually Krishna's effulgence. See, same effulgence is the one to which Gyanis are very attracted. But then, because they have no love for Krishna, they just want to merge in the effulgence and become one with the effulgence. But when these ladies, Brahman Patnis, these Patnis, they were touched by this effulgence, they are filled with love. Upon meeting their faces, Krishna's effulgence turned into kajal surrounding their eyes. So effulgence of Krishna was touching them, which is coming from his body. It surrounded their eyes and it became kajal of their eyes. And then it reflected in their hair parts. Because hairs are black, effulgence covered their hairs and became black. That effulgence of Krishna embraced them as garland of blue lotus flowers. So it became like blue lotus flower embracing them in their neck. That's why Krishna can accomplish some tasks which we can't imagine. So without touching them, simply by effulgence, Krishna embraced them. Krishna's effulgence turned into tamal flowers which wrapped around their ears. Krishna's effulgence touched their breast. It rested at the necklace of blue sapphires on their chest. That effulgence covered their entire body and it appeared like a blue dress on their bodies. And at this time, all these wives of Brahmanas were beholding their beloved Krishna, Shyamsundar, with unblinking eyes. And what was Krishna doing? Krishna had kept his left arm on the shoulder of Subal, and he was looking like a wave in unlimited ocean of beauty. So his left hand was in the shoulder of Subal, and with his right hand, he was twirling a lotus flower. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, and even here Kavi Kanpur is saying, that lotus flower was representing the minds of Brahman Patnis. So while moving the lotus flower like that, Krishna was indicating, I am agitating your mind because of your love for me. He was wearing peacock feather on his turban. Krishna had pitambari, the yellow cloths around his body. He had Vajanti Mala, garland of forest flowers. And the leaves also, they were hanging from his neck. He was adorned with sandalwood paste and colored minerals that was adorning his transcendental body. And Krishna reached a sour of nectar with his attractive bright smile that was more splendorous than moonshine. Krishna was smiling very brightly. Like someone greeting a desirable guest, the ladies opened the doors of their eyes in ecstasy and they welcomed Lord Samsundar in their heart. So they captured Krishna's very heart by the doorways of their eyes. So although Krishna appeared like prankish paramour lover, his frivolous behavior charmed their heart. So the way frivolously Krishna was twirling the lotus, relaxing, conquered their heart. And then the ladies began to consider, uh, is he a dramatic dancer about to enact a wonderful pastime? He's called Natvar. Nat means basically dramatic dancer. Is he a Cupid personified, or he is the embodiment of conjugal love? Is he the personified bliss of love? Is he the very form of pleasurable pastimes? So they were considering like that. And all these questions raised their excited minds. Due to absorption in thoughts of Krishna, they acted boldly, free from doubts and hesitation. And conquered by love of Krishna Prem, they lost control of their minds while tasting the mellows of the relationship with Krishna. Having taken complete control of their senses, Krishna became Rishikesh, controlling their senses. Rishikesh. And then Krishna entered their hearts and came outside. So he entered their hearts, again came out outside their heart. Again entered their heart, again came out their heart. And during this experience, Yagpatnis thought, how amazing. Our beloved Samsundar is standing before us, and he's there in our heart also. We can see him within our heart, we can see him in front of us. So, in such a bewildered state, the ladies saw Krishna inside their hearts when they closed their eyes. And upon opening the eyes, they saw Krishna in front of them. So they were seeing Krishna both inside and outside. Yo mam pasati sarvata sarvam mamai pasati tassa hamna panasami sachame na panasati. One who sees me in everything sees everything in me. I am never lost, nor he ever lost to me. So they were seeing Krishna both inside and outside. So although satisfied to see Krishna within their hearts, they still moved very closer to him upon opening their eyes. The wives looked very beautiful, holding the offerings of food in their attractive lotus bud-like hands. They said, desire tree fulfill the heart's desire. Similarly, Krishna felt satisfied upon seeing the beautiful bodies of these ladies, which were appearing like glistening vines growing in the celestial pleasure garden. And then you can see in the next slide. Yeah. Krishna spoke. So he said that, oh, my dear ones, beautiful ones, did you suffer any inconvenience in coming here? As if he's being very formally. Oh, fortunate ladies, please sit down and make yourself comfortable. I can see that you have great love for me because you have personally brought me foodstuffs. And there is no way I can repay you for a wonderful service. May you find complete satisfaction in your love for me and relieve me of my debt to you. So I can repay you for your love. So be happy with your love. Be satisfied with Krishna Prem. Like Yeah. Sukhdev Goswami also prays. And there are many devotees. Actually, it comes in many prayers. So devotees say that Krishna, Putana came you to give a poison and you gave her the poison of nurse, Dhatri. Leve gatim Dhatri Uchitam Titanyam. But as far as Vrajavasis are concerned, they are given their entire lives to you. So how can you repay the depth? Krishna said, no, I can't repay the depth. Can't repay. So they should be satisfied by Krishna Prem only. Because that is the highest thing I can give. Similarly, Krishna telling to these Yag Patnis, I can't repay you. Be satisfied with your love for me. So in this way, Krishna's sweet, deep voice sounded like rumbling clouds. He soothed the ears of the Yag Patnis with his love-soaked, distinctly pronounced words, which were sweeter than the drops of nectar. And all the Brahman Patnis, these Patnis, they had attained the pinnacle of fortune just by hearing these words. So, taking Krishna through the aperture of their lotus eyes, they embraced Krishna within their hearts. And meeting in rapturous joy, they relinquished all fears and anxieties. With their creeper like hands, those fortunate ladies offer the fragrant flowers of their affection to worship their beloved. And in this way, Krishna enchanted the mind of the Brahmana's wives by saturating them with spiritual bliss. And in this way, Krishna removed the painful fire of separation. And now Krishna speaks. Uh, My dear Yagpatnis, na tata sannikarshena pritiyada tatograhan. You should return to your husbands and finish the sacrifice. Because I am pleased by the person who worshipped me in my form and the enjoyers of sacrifices. So now initially Krishna just said, please come, sit down here. We are so grateful to you. Be satisfied with your love. And now he's telling them to go back to home. So although Krishna's face glowed like full moon, and earlier he was pouring nectar of his words. But now his words were looking like bitter poison. Bitter poison which were in the form of unpalatable words. And the frustration of the Brahmana Patnis, it was their life's desire to meet Krishna. But it drained all the colors from their bodies. We have to go back. And Vishwanath Thakur says that actually they had a determination. We will not go back. If Krishna accepts it, it's very good. If you are not qualified to get Krishna's association, we will stay here as Vandevis, eat whatever roots and fruits are available in the forest, and together we'll develop attachment for Krishna by practice or devotion service. But the determination was, we will not go back. We will not go back. And Krishna is telling them, no, go back and assist in the yagyas of your husbands. It was like, we just can't do that. And actually, Krishna told to them, which comes in the verse, that just by my physical proximity, one cannot develop love for me. It is developed by Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smarnam. So by hearing about me, by singing about me, by remembering me in meditation, one can develop love for me, but not by my physical proximity. So you should do all these things and increase your love. So in this way, their minds had become fully attached to Krishna by repeatedly hearing about him from the lips of Rajvasis, as we were discussing before. So initially, when they came, Krishna encouraged them by saying, "Come here, sit down," and they were feeling so nice. Now we will be there with Krishna. So they had their desire of or creepers of desire was flourishing. Okay, now we'll have passions with Krishna. And then he destroyed the entire creeper by his words, and he made them very, very miserable. So in this way, their faces turned very pale and cheerless. And because of being completely ignored, an unbearable pain supplanted the joy they had previously felt. It removed all their joy. So their hearts were severely hurt. Tears gushed from their eyes, and they began to cry. Like you can see here, they're so unhappy. So just as demigoddesses don't cast their shadow, similarly, these grief-stricken ladies didn't get any brilliant effulgence now. It was diminished by Krishna's words. Just like a light in oil lamp diminishes with exhaustion of fuel, similar natural glow of these Brahman Patnis uh, eventually decreased to nil. So giving up their shyness, now they speak to Krishna. So they say, "O Almighty One, you are dearest one of all living entities. Please don't speak such cruel words that pierce the core of our hearts like a thunderbolt. Please listen attentively and don't deprive us the pleasure of seeing you. Because if you deprive us of seeing you, we'll surely die." How could such a thing happen? Alas, does a river rushing out of a mountain peak return back and take shelter inside the mountain? Of course not. It naturally flows towards the ocean, which remains neutral and unaffected. Yeah. So basically what they're saying is they're comparing their husbands to the mountain and they're comparing Krishna to ocean. So we have natural attraction for you. Gange Voga Mudanvati, like Kunti Marani prays. My heart is like a river which flows automatically towards toward the ocean. Like Ganga naturally flows toward the ocean at Ganga Sagar. Similarly, they say that our hearts are also naturally driven towards you, who's like ocean. So, like rivers never go back to the mountains. Similarly, our husbands are like mountains. We don't want to go back to them. Although you are neutral and unaffected, but still we want to remain with you. We don't want to leave you. And then they say, "You're everything for those who have nothing in this world." Tam akanjam gocharam. Similar. So we don't have anything. We have only you. So, O Murari, we have no one else in this world but you. Therefore, we can no longer find any pleasure in returning home because you are everything for us. In dense darkness, one may mistake and go in wrong direction. But by the power of piety, he may again come back to the right path. Similarly, if without any endeavor a blind man attains divine vision, so we are blind women and we have attained divine vision of a darshan, then such a person will not reject that fortune. So now we have fortune to achieve you. How can we go back and miss this good fortune? No, we got you. Now we'll not leave you. We can't leave you. And then they say, "Alas, no doubt you are learned in ethics and morality, but these words of yours are devoid of love and affection." So why they're saying ethics and morality? Actually, Krishna was telling them to go back because they were Dvij Patnis. So generally, wife of a king and wife of a Brahmana, they're considered one of the mothers. So Krishna didn't want to break this etiquette because people may imitate Krishna and later on they will fall down. So that's why, although these Dvishpatnis were in Madhur Ras, Krishna didn't wanted to have Ras Leela with them. Because here Ras Leela with them, then no, all the people will have bad eye upon the Dvishpatnis. And normally the wives of the Brahmanas. So they said, until now, so Krishna was saying that no, you go back. So they said that we know that you are learning ethics and morality, but your words are devoid of love and affection. So until now, we have maintained our lives just by hearing your name and fame. So you emanate beauty, splendor, sweetness of thousand of cupids. But where is that sweetness gone? We heard that you are so sweet, but where is that sweetness gone now? Oh Damodar, although you are proud, please listen to us for few moments. You have only promised. You promise that you will never reject anyone who serves you. You say, if once somebody says, I am yours, you will never leave him. Actually, they are quoting from Ramayana. So in Ramayana, Yuddha Khanda, I think again it is 18.66. So there Lord Ram says, Sakrede prapanno yas tavasmiti cha yachate abhyam sarvada tasme dadami vritam mama. Anyway, maybe I can tell the whole episode also. Little bit going off route. So after giving good advice to Ravana, so that no, return Sita, otherwise you will be destroyed. Ravana became very angry. Indrajit, he shouted saying that no, there is a traitor among all of us. He scolded Vibhishan by saying that you are not fit to be called Rakshasas. Rakshasas, once they take anything, they don't give it back. And then Vibhishan saw that Ravana is silent. So he just left the place along with 4 ministers. And over the ocean, when he came, he requested the monkeys to give a news to Lord Ram that Vibhishan wants to surrender to you. And then Lord Ram, he asked from different monkeys, from Sugriva, Angad, Jaman, everyone. So Hanumanji was the only person who was saying that, my dear Lord, I have seen that he has great love for you. When I went to Lanka, I saw that he was chanting your name, Ram, Ram, Ram. So he's your devotee, you can accept him. Other monkeys were saying no. They're saying that he's a Rakshasa. Let us say, even he is sincerely offering himself to you. But Rakshasas generally are very attached to their family. So on the battlefield, when he sees that you are killing all these Rakshasas and you are killing Indrajit and Ravan, he may turn back and backstab you. So don't believe in this Rakshasa. Hanuman was saying, no, you're devotee, you accept. But then devotee said that, Lord Ram, what is from your side? So Lord said, he said the same verse. Sakrede prapanno yas tavasmiti cha yachate abhyam sarvada tasme dadami mama. So I've taken this vow. The Sakrit means once. Once somebody says, my Lord, I'm yours, he spoke only how many times? Once. But Abhyam Sarvada Tasme, forever I give him free fearlessness. I accept him. So then we said, so when devotees heard that, they said, Hari Bol, Jai Sri Ram. They said, bring Vibhishan. Immediately, Lord made Vibhishan the king of Lanka. He did his Abhishek. And then devotees say, my dear Lord, you said that once somebody says that I'm yours, you give him fearlessness. What if tomorrow Ravan comes and says that I'm yours? You have already made him king of Lanka. Lord Ram said, I'll give him Ayodhya. I'll give Ayodhya to Ravan. And then they say, what about Bharat? Bharat has already dedicated his life to you. Lord Ram said that I'll give him Vakunta and I'll wander in the forest. So that's like, it's considered one of the three Charam slokas of Sri Vaishnavas. One is Savdharan Parityaja, then Sakrit Ikprapanuyas, and there's another one from Varaha Puran. So these three verses are there. So anyway, I'll not go to the third verse, Varaha Puran. Some other time we'll discuss. So, so these gopis were remembering that. So they said, so not gopis, Brahman Patnis. So they said that you have spoken that from today I am yours. So we are telling now that no, we belong to you. So now you keep your promise. So we have given up the dark cave of household life, which is nothing more than bitter path full of thorns and hard work. Now you accept us as your maid servant. So our husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, relatives, friends, they won't take us back. They will reject us and then they will laugh at us. Even sinful people will criticize us that we left our husband's home. But despite all of this, my dear Lord, we offer our bodies in your service. Therefore, O Lord, we humbly beg you, please show us your compassion. Please take control of the chariots of our minds and quickly grant our cherished desire. O compassionate one, your fully surrendered souls, so please accept us. Intoxicate us with the sour of your nectarian association. On our heads and on our hearts, we respectfully hold the fragrant flowers which you neglectfully take away with your lotus feet. So, in this way, until now, Yag Patnis had carefully concealed their love for Krishna within their hearts. But now, their bodies are covered with bombs of ecstasy and they reveal their attachment to Krishna. So, at this time, Krishna was attractively gleaming at them with soothing rays of full moon. So his effulgence was looking like that. His leaf-like lips bathed in a sweet smile. His white teeth shone with a slightly reddish hue, like pomegranate seeds. And now Krishna began to say. So he started addressing the Dvij the wives of the Brahmanas. Yes. So he says, listen attentively as I fill your ears with the truth. He says, such stubborn behavior does not befit you. You should understand that a self-controlled person who surrenders to the scriptures and hears about me, chants my name and glories, and meditates on my form, can very easily bring me under his control. But such a perfection is not achieved by physical proximity to me. Pritiya Tatograhan. So go to your house. O upholders of truth, please therefore return to your homes and meditate on me. By this practice, you will get free from clutches of mental bondage and attain me, who is a friend of all creation. And then he tells the actual reason. So he says, actually, in this birth, as the wife of the Brahmanas, it will not be beneficial for you to physically associate with me because I am a member of Vaisya community. So if I do that, it will disrupt the entire Varnasam process. So it will be better for you to think me within your minds. Within your minds, you can think of me. And I will also think about you, and firmly embrace you in our in mind only. So please, as if now, go home and don't be in anxiety about your relatives. Don't worry because your husbands will not be inimical to you. Indeed, your husbands, children, relatives are dear to you because I am residing within them as Paramatma. They will accept you. I'll change their minds as Paramatma. Only one who has been rejected by me will be envious of a person who has offered his heart to me. Me, who is the form of absolute truth. That means because I am Paramatma in their heart and you have surrendered your life to me, they'll accept you. And when Krishna was speaking like that, these ladies drank the nectar of Krishna's words with a cup of their ears. And in this way, Krishna showed his expertise in presenting arguments from different points of view. So he was saying how by remembering me, you can bring me under your control. He also said that you are Brahmanas in this life, so it won't be appropriate. And Yajnapadnis appreciated his reasonable words and felt great joy within their hearts. Seeing this as Krishna's mercy, they fixed their minds on him and eagerly took his handsome form in their hearts. Driven by Cupid, they disregarded Krishna's contradictory behavior and realized the beauty of a transcendental form. So, although they were perspiring and shedding tears of joy, these two-eyed ladies somehow managed to return home. This verse comes second time also. In which Krishna said that please return home. Nata Sannikarsena Pritiya Tato Grahan. This verse Krishna spoke to gopis also, who were attracted by hearing the sound of Krishna's flute. It will come later on. And when Krishna speaks the same verse to gopis, and he said, "Oh, you came here to see the Vrindavan forest. You have seen. Go back. You came to take my darshan. You took the darshan. Go back. It will come later on." And then he spoke this verse, and the response of gopis was they didn't follow. They didn't follow. So these patnis had great love for Krishna, but gopis' love is considered even superior. Because the reason is when one's love grows beyond an extent, one is not just controlled by Krishna, one feels Krishna is under my control. So for gopis, they thought Krishna is under our control, whereas these ladies were controlled by Krishna. But they are also they're also very great, and they're also like in Madhur Ras with Krishna. But some of the Brahman Patnis couldn't go there, which you can see in the next slide. So one of the wives of the Brahmanas, though forcefully kept home by angry husband, you see the husband outside. She entered in ecstasy upon hearing description of Krishna's beauty from the Gopas. So not caring for poisonous words of the crazy husband, she absorbed herself in loving meditation of Krishna. She lost external consciousness and saw Krishna manifest before her, saying, "Give up everything and come and live with me in Vrindavan." So after receiving this order from Krishna, she prepared to leave everything and go to Krishna. So just as one plans for a foreign visit at auspicious time, similarly she took an ideal time to satisfy her desire to enjoy with Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. And then now you can see in the next slide. Yeah. So on account of her complete attachment to Krishna, and because of having seen him once in meditation, not even physically. She adopted the principle of rejecting a lower thing for a higher thing. So she identified her ego as wife of Brahmana, and then she gave up her body. She gave up her body. Same thing done by the yogis also. But then they may sometimes go in Brahman also. But now she was like doing same thing, and now she gave up her body. So within a moment, she obtained a spiritual body and enjoyed blissful pastimes with Krishna. Attaining the direct association of Krishna naturally fills one with unconceivable delight. Her intense love for Krishna forced her to reject the control of her husband and she submitted herself to Krishna. No obstacle could diminish her ever increasing love for Krishna. Hmm. So, although one may use his fingernail to break off a small piece from a tender creeper, that piece will continue to live and later on sprout again. Similarly, it appeared that Brahmana's wife perished with the demise of her metal body. She gave her metal body, but she continued to exist spiritually in a spiritual body. So she continued to lie down at home in a spiritual body, just suitable for pleasing the Lord. And after some time, she got Krishna, a son of Krishna's intimidated Vraj gopis. And these Vraj gopis trained her. So these were like Nitya Siddha gopis who trained this Sadhana Siddha Dishpatni to act to satisfy Krishna. So in this way, she qualified to obtain Krishna's blissful association in coming days. So by repeatedly studying Krishna's transcendental qualities, she overcame all the impediments. And as ocean waves continuously break on the beach, the desire to see Krishna constantly moved in her heart. So by the strength of her bhajan, she had cut bondage to Maya, developed intense yearning to attain Krishna. So at this stage of Krishna consciousness, she considered her husband, family, nothing more than straw in the street. She left her body and she did this amazing act, which is greater than the act of greatest yogi who, in their deepest meditation, leave their bodies. Yeah. Yes, Aditi Gaurpo.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question was that only, that is this situation, can we think of that she is a sadhana siddha gopi and she is going to nitya siddha world?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Prabhuji, I have another question.
Hmm.
Yesterday, when it was that situation that all gopis have to make a line and get the clothes, at that time, I guess you said that some of the gopis were Nitya Siddhas and some were Sadhana Siddhas.
Mhm.
So, means in that situation, in the same world, there were both. But is that, I don't know how to say, but this seems like there is another sadhana siddha world and nitya siddha world, matlab Golok Vrindavan, I guess, is
Mhm.
different.
No, no, no.
But in that, okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
what happens is when Krishna comes in this world, he comes with Nitya Siddha devotees, and they are like trainers. And the devotees who have perfected their sadhana, so they perfect their sadhana in the sense that they have developed love for Krishna. But now, how to behave with Krishna? What? So that has to be taught. So these Nidhi Siddha gopis act like the trainers, and the sadhana Siddha devotees are like trainees. So once they are trained how to behave with Krishna, then they can also go back to spiritual world.
Okay. Thank you so much, Roji. Understood. Devotee association is very much needed.
Yeah, yeah. Hari Hari. Yes. Now we can see the next slide. Now these are the Brahmanas. So taking note of her pure devotion for Krishna,
Uh,
all these Yajnika Brahmanas were great acharyas of with wisdom. They begin to condemn themselves. Dik janmanasta vidyatat, dik vidastav dik kulam, dik kulam kriyadaksham, vimukha etu adikshaje. So vimukha yeti adikshaje. Because we have turned our faces away from Krishna, dik janmanas, to hell with our great high births, to hell with our heritage, kulam. Hmm? So to hell with everything because we have turned away from Krishna. So to hell with our lives since we have no love for Krishna. To hell with our expertise in the rituals of sacrifice. To hell with our charitable acts. To hell with our extensive learning. To hell with our abilities, intelligence, self-realization, and aristocratic background. To hell with our asanas, meditation, concentration. To hell with our knowledge of tantra and mantra. So in this way they condemn like anything. And then they say, Aho, although our wives have never done japa, studied the Vedas, undergone purificatory rites, followed formalities of cleanliness, or engaged in past rituals, just see they have developed pure love for Krishna. They never studied nor meditated on nature of self. They merely heard the transcendental glories of Hari from the lips of pure devotees. Just see the intensity of their love for Krishna that inspired them to act so wonderfully. Again, here is the key. Even Uddhav Gita Krishna gives this key. He says, the best way of developing love for me is to associate with those who have love for me. And for us, one more way is by associating with them through Bhagavatam. So when we read Bhagavatam or Vrindavan Champu, we see the love of these devotees. And that inspires us to develop love like them. And then they say, we have never seen all these incredible feelings before. Giving up all shame, our wives ignored their kinsmen and acted frivolously. Overwhelmed by the order of Krishna, they consider the request of their husbands and relatives no more than straw. And then commenting on this lady who left her body, they said, what can we say about this? Only after many, many lifetimes of severe austerities can a perfect yogi leave his body at his will by controlling his life airs, raising the Atma through the six satras, chakras. Yet, in order to see her beloved, this lady surmounted all obstacles and attained a position really achieved by greatest yogis who can understand the nature of Krishna Prem. What can we say about our cruel treatment of our wives? Although we have heard so many things, we paid no attention to devotion to Krishna or to the request of the articles to offer to him. Even though we are supposed to be intelligent, it seems that same Lord covered us with illusion in order to shower mercy upon wives. So, though ornamented with Vedic knowledge, the Brahmanas lamented deeply and felt speechless. So, renouncing their pride, they sat down on the ground. And now you can see the next slide. Yes. So, when their wives returned, the Brahmanas could understand that Krishna's association has transformed them. So, their wives displayed all auspicious qualities. Now that their hearts were saturated with Krishna Prem, the ladies were filled up to their neck with unlimited beauty of Krishna and they were crying the tears of joy. Enchanted by Krishna's delightful character, their hearts surged continuously with bliss. They existed in transcendental realm far beyond any amount of piety and knowledge. Seeing their wives, who had become liberated souls now, those effulgent, broad-minded Brahmanas smiled happily. They showed more respect to their wives than ever before. Now, the Brahmanas honored their wives more than they did to the Shastras, Gurus, and other Brahmanas. It is not surprising that they stood up, greeted their wives with great affection, because anyone who sees someone who is in deep love with Krishna will also develop affection for Krishna. So these Yagpatnis who had seen Krishna praise their friends, who gave up her body because she could not go out, seeing them, all these Yagpatnis say, no one in this world surpasses her good fortune. Not only in this birth, but in all previous births, she must have enjoyed intimate pastimes of Krishna. Otherwise, how can somebody leave his body like that? So after saying this, the wives of the Brahmanas showed indifference towards their husband. So it's Krishna's nature to reciprocate with devotees according to their moods. So Krishna, who is expert and soft-hearted, fulfilled the desire of the lady who gave up her body by submerging in unlimited river of love. Krishna gave her as one of his dearest gopis, who always enjoy ecstatic pastimes with him. So gopis embraced this lady who gave up her life, taught her the art of pleasing Krishna, and then radiant with pure love, she quickly attained the qualification to associate intimately with Krishna. So in this way, Krishna was very happy to see this. So that's why these ladies, these patnis who met Krishna were fortunate. But even this lady who couldn't meet Krishna was also very fortunate. Because in this life only she could associate with other gopis. And now you can see in the next slide. Okay, just one more comment about these Brahmanas. So all these Brahmanas, now they appreciated the uh, Krishna prema of their wives, but somehow uh, they did not courage to surrender their lives to Krishna. And our acharyas say that they were fearful of Kansa. So they were thinking, if Kansa comes to know that we are Krishna's men, Kansa may trouble us. So they did not courage to still surrender to Krishna. So meanwhile, Krishna Balram and all these Gopas, they sat down, realized the feast given by the Brahmanas' wives. And Krishna enjoyed the food which is nicely prepared, artistically displayed. And anyway, these foodstuffs were prepared by Yagapatnis, which was flavored with the nectar of deep love for Krishna. So after finishing the meals, Krishna joked with his friends and drove the cows. And again, as before, as you can see in the next slide. Yeah. Krishna played on his charming Murli, extinguishing the fire of separation within the heart of Vraj Gopis, who were waiting for the whole day to see Krishna. Hearing that melodious flute sound of Krishna's Murli, the plants, creepers, all directions became alive and beautiful. Tasting the sweet nectar of Krishna's Murli, the birds, sea deer, animals, they were drowned in ecstasy. Keeping Balramji in front, Krishna, who is embodiment of of Prem, walked in Vrindavan surrounded by his friends. Lotus face of Krishna looked extremely beautiful, framed with dark blue locks of hairs, covered with godhuli. The slight tilted turban on his head looked very gorgeous, with artistic ornament of hanging red Asoka flowers. Makar Kundal of Krishna were moving very nicely. The blue lotus flower rested on his ear. The pollen falling from that flower mixed with drops of Krishna's perspiration enhanced the radiance of his cheek. And Krishna was moving very slowly along the paths with his beautiful ankle bells jingling sweet melodies. The sweet, drawn out tunes of his Murli filled the ears and minds of everyone with delight. And as the evening approached, the gopis spoke incessantly about Krishna. Upon hearing the bellowing of returning cows, the talks of the gopis reached a climax of excitement. And now you can see the next slide. Yeah. Seeing their excessive craving to meet Krishna, the flute sound came as a thief to steal a jewel like hearts of the doe-eyed gopis. The face of the gopis looked like cluster of fresh white lotuses opening under cool rays of the full moon. Watching the dim rays of setting sun, gopis merged in state of wonder. They cast away their shyness, knowing that they would soon satisfy their desire to meet Krishna Chandra. In their anxiety to see Krishna, they're feeling each moment like a millennium. The pure love of the fortunate gopis surpassed all sort of mental speculation. So during the time of sunset, the stars were hidden behind the curtain of dusk. Gopis ascended to the rooftops of their houses and they were drinking the nectar of beautiful face of Krishna. Standing on rooftops, the glittering bodies of gopis appeared like a row of stars in the horizon. Their exquisite beauty shone like flag of wealth of good fortune. The dancing of creeper-like eyebrows of gopis spread a dark hue over the palaces. The Yamuna river held garlands to offer to Krishna in the form of waves, the nighttime scene. The restless glances of the gopis filled the sky with alternating clouds of blue and pink, pink because of setting sun. Their open eyes splashed blue in all directions, and constant blinking of their eyes covered the evening sky with pinkish hue. It appeared as if sky was painted alternately in blue and pink lotus flowers. So blue clouds were like blue flowers, and the white clouds reflected by sunlight were looking like pink lotus flowers. The billions of their teeth beautified their faces as they yawned, the gopis. Aglow with perfect health, the gopis looked like lakes full of blossoming lotuses. And as far as Krishna's face is concerned, Krishna's face seemed to be, yes, like a sleepless moon. Seeing fickle movement of Gopi's eyebrows, Krishna understood that they were waging a war in their minds. The cause of war was Cupid, Kamdev. Due to her constant loving ecstasy, one Gopi felt confident of being favored by festival that night. Okay, night we'll get to meet Krishna. Overwhelmed with her desire, she suddenly saw Krishna gazing at her. Electrified with the thought of Krishna, that Krishna might come to her house, Gopi joyfully glanced toward the face of her friends. Uh, and then she spoke. You can see the next slide. Yeah. So can I go further 10-15 minutes? If devotees allow. This will take maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Aditya Prabhu is ready. Yeah. So holding an expensive necklace in her joint palms, one distraught Gopi said, "Oh Kundalata, I am dying. But just nearby, Krishna is walking with grace of a regal elephant. Can you give him this pearl necklace before he runs off to enjoy pastime to another Gopi's house?" Before he goes to other gopis' house, just give him this necklace. I'll forever be indebted to you for this. And then other gopi said, Hey Sakhi, what can the harsh words of our superiors do to us? Because she was fearing. Superiors were, hey, you are meeting with Krishna. Why should we allow modesty to restrict us? Forgetting our fears and anxieties, let us drown in the ocean of bliss by embracing that handsome youth, Krishna. The tender creepers of our arms will wrap ourselves tightly around that blue desire tree. O Sakhi, indeed, this is an auspicious moment. So let us all go to the house of Nanda Maharaj and meet Krishna. So Gopis talked about Krishna's attractive form. So, like mystic yogis, Gopis withdrew their senses and completely absorbed their senses in delightful form of Krishna. Anxious to drink the nectar of from their golden faces, Krishna was also looking towards the gopis, as if directly enjoying. They embraced each other within their minds through their eyes. Gopis offered their glances laden with concentrated nectar of their affection, and that was their gift to Shyam Sundar. Krishna gladly accepted their gifts in the form of those glances. Feeling momentarily pacified by this, gopis responded with their smiles. Then Krishna strolled down the road, surrounded by his other gopa friends, and he repeatedly said, When will I see my beloved smiling at me and casting sidelong glances? He was talking about Radharani. By stating this, Krishna revealed his cherished desire upon entering his home. Seeing conjugal love for Krishna, which resides in the heart of the gopis, it it's understood that they have realized the perfection of knowledge. Simply by holding sweetness of Krishna, their minds thrilled in jubilation, their bodies displayed bumps of delight, and in this way, these clouds of nectar, Krishna and Balram, poured liquid bliss into the eyes of their parents. So now they returned to the home. So the magnificent beauty of these boys were essence of sweetness, and their parents were enjoying unlimited happiness. And now you can see the next slide. As usual, using warm water and a soft cloth, Yashoda and Rohini were washing off the dust from the bodies of their sons. And Krishna and Balram were appearing like pair of elephant cubs, that means young elephants, bathed in a river by their affection, by the affection of their mothers. Now, bathing in that affection, they looked very clean, elegant. The servants dressed them in auspicious garments, applied aromatic oils, adorned their bodies with attractive ornaments. And after eating delicious foodstuffs, Krishna and Balram took rest on two opulent beds. So in this way, Krishna and Balram were looking like two beautiful moons moving on the earth. Krishna Balram ki jai, this Patni ki jai. And next week we will discuss about the most famous festival of Vrindavan, Holi. So that's next chapter. So what we can do? So in our next class, because now exam is over, is Aditya Gorpu is a question.
Ruji, I was asking that when we become sadhana siddhas and we go to the world where Krishna is doing his pastimes, so do we remember our past birth, that which birth took us to the sadhana siddha, and now we are taking the association of nitya siddha, and do we remember that we were like this and now we are like whatever our swarup?
Okay. So I heard only one comment Am I audible? Hare Krishna. It seems there is some internet problem. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. There was some internet problem. Yeah. So, okay. So as far as uh, Raymond past life, I didn't hear much comments about it. The only comment which I heard is that when we go back to spiritual world, we remember our past lives so that we don't come back to the material world again. So it seems we must be remembering not this life, all the previous lives, so that we can remember how dangerous it was to live in the material world. Krishna says, na, that yad gattvan nevartante tad dham paramamama. So Krishna has full faith in Maya Devi. She'll beat living entities in such a way, black and blue, that they will not come back. So it seems that we remember our past lives.
And Prabhuji, how does the training process works?
See, actually, it's like when you go to a person, let us say, now you may not understand, ladies understand. When they go to a house, so many times mothers train, oh, he likes this, he doesn't like that, especially now if newly wedded girl comes. She doesn't know what this man like, doesn't like. So what happens is she trains how to behave in our house. So there is some training period for some time. So similarly, although they have love for Krishna, they want to serve Krishna, there are some etiquettes. Now Jannevas Prabhu, he says something else. He says that as far as pujaris are concerned, they're already trained, so they don't have to be trained again. So they can directly go to spiritual world.
Jai.
But for other people who are not like that, yeah, so then they have to be trained. They have to be trained to how to behave with Krishna. So our pujari training also within ISKCON also, it's like from morning till evening. If we follow all the procedures properly as it is given by the acharyas, then actually it is a training of spiritual world. So all types of meditations which we have during archana, etc. If we follow them carefully, then they are like training in spiritual world. So that's how it works.
Wow. That means doing the Raganuga Bhakti in sadhana sadhana swarup world also has rules and regulations.
Yeah, see, it's like there are ways you approach a person in general. See, now there may be some spontaneity in the sense that sometimes you follow rules, sometimes you don't follow. But in general, there are some rules which we follow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Understood, friends.
See, it's like no, now Gopas may not like do all this putting tulsi and ring the bell, everything, and no doing all sort of things and then offering to the Lord. But in general, in the homes when the mothers do it, this like carefully clean their hands and feet and everything, and then they offer her to the Lord. So it's like some semblance. Generally, it is like that, but not maybe not be all the times. Okay.
Understood. Thank you so much, Raji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Yes. Sankari Kaur Matai, she had a comment. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my most respectful obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet. My belongs to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Prabhu, is it not true? I mean, I read in purports of Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam itself. He says that giving up the gross body only gets us to another life. We still stay in the material world because our subtle body does not dissolve. Unless our subtle body dissolves, we don't attain spiritual world. So it's the death of our subtle body that takes us to spiritual world. So Prabhu, if our subtle body dissolves, then where do we have the remembrance of the past material life going to spiritual world?
Okay. See, it's not necessary that uh, subtle body is required for the functionings of the gross body also. Like one who achieves the position of bhava. So for them it is spoken in the third canto. Jaryati asuva koram kusam niginam anilam yatha. Like the fire digests the food, similarly one sadhana digests one subtle body. So then when they are not active, what is active? Spiritual senses are active. And when spiritual senses are active, then one can get all those memories. Ultimately, matta smritin jnanam apohanam cha. All the smriti and vismriti comes from Krishna. So Krishna can remind us if he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
Hmm.
sense.
And other thing is that now we don't know because I didn't hear much detail about it, at least through my hearing of Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada lectures and books, that do we know everything in detail, remember everything in detail, or some things in detail, or we remember, no, it was like a very bad experience, we don't want to remember it again. So what is exactly that detail that it's difficult to comment. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
When we were reading this chapter quickly, the way the Dvijapatnis are saying, startled and astounded, they forgot everything and exclaimed, "What kind of enchanting mantra is this? We are chanting this mantra every single day. I wish that someday I also come to that point where it just dawns upon us that by what good fortune we have been gifted this supreme fortune to be able to chant the holy names." And Prabhu, one quick thing, I was listening to a lecture by His Holiness Bhaktivigyan Goswami Maharaj. He was giving this lecture in Vrindavan during the Kartik month, I think 3 years ago, 23 maybe. And he was saying that how Krishna repaid the debt of the gopis when he says that I won't be able to. So he came as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he went through the same pain of separation from Krishna just to repay their debt by going through the same pain that they have gone. So I think that was very, very beautiful. Really explained it. So
Beautiful
just wanted
point.
to share that. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you for this point, Hari. Yeah. So what we can do, because we didn't had a presentation from since long time. So we past 3 lectures we can revise. Hmm. So group number 1 can do exercise on Purva Raga of Gopis. Group number 2 can do it on pastimes in summer season and other seasons. Or maybe okay, we can do this one actually. Group number 1 can do on pastimes in summer season and other seasons. Group number 2 can do on stealing the garments of Gopis. Group number 3 can do on this particular chapter, favoring the wives of Brahmanas. So 11, 12, 13. Okay. Okay, so we'll end here. कृष्ण भगवान की जय, नंदनंदन मोर मुकुट सोहंसी वाला की जय, शील प्रपाद की जय, कवि कर्णपुर की जय, शील प्रपाद की जय, वान सकल पद्रुव ऐसा कृपा संदेव प्रचन पावन वैष्णव नमो नमः, शील प्रपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।